Okay, so now today we are going to see the concept of inheritance. Okay, so up to now we have done all the program within the same package, but now I want to just create a separate thing with the help of packages so that we can group the different program at means the same concept program in the same package called as grouping. So for creating a package, it's very simplistic. You have to just right click on SRC and just go to the new here and then package. So let me give as a name as OOP, stand for object oriented programs. Finish it. Okay. We have already done a class object there is a arts class, then there is a what you can say that a science. One more thing we have done, I think a commerce also we have taken, right? I'm not sure, but we have done that. Okay. So there are two only class we have taken, arts and science, and there is one main class. What's the main class name? Principal. This is, and there is spelling mistake, but it is same as. So let me copy this. Is that possible or not? I don't know, but let's say I just wanted to move to this. I think it's possible. Please move to this package. Okay. Why it's showing error principal? Yeah. So it is showing error just because of it is okay. Within that package, we have called some other function as well. You know? So that's fine. While studying the yesterday's lecture, we have created simple functions. Let me remove this also. It doesn't matter. So we have this class object concept. So keep as it is, right? Fine. Now all okay. Okay. Means all object oriented program will be in a oops. It's fine. So now let's go for the next concept, and that is nothing but inheritance. Concept is very important because based on the class object and inheritance concepts, all the further technical concepts are depends. So it's very important to understand. I have already given you the list of OOPS concepts. Among from the second list, we are saying that is nothing but inheritance. Okay. First, understand the concept, and then we'll go to for like practically we can check it out. So let's go here. The pent. So assume that there is a class is given. So we have one class, and within that class, we have some functions. One function is there in the class something, and this function is having 100 lines of codes of logic. Okay, that's a great thing that one class having created some very important functions, and that's having a lot of logic and lot number of lines of codes. And when some other file we are creating, or some other class we are creating, in that file we need a same concept. So, but up to now, we have the thing that we can create a separate class, and all the separate class have its own functionality. Though that function is the need a same thing, but still we need to create the functions, right? This is the only option that we have seen up to now, right? So, is there any concept so that without writing these 100 lines again here, instead of writing this function again, can we acquire or can we access from other class? Okay. So this concept is achieved by inheritance that we are going to see. Means without creating the same function in the another class, that class can access or extend the function of some another classes. So that is a concept of inheritance. Inheritance means it's allowed to access some other class function into our classes. Basically, the inheritance concept is the biological terms. The sometime we can let's say in the biologically your look like your mother or you look like your dad. So that means that properties are inherited from the parents. So that is the concept of inheritance. Okay. So for the inheritance, one keyword is get used, and that keyword is nothing but extends. extends. Extends is the keywords. Okay. So whenever you are going to see some keyword like an extension, that means that is the concept of inheritance. If you check some any built-in functions, so you will come to know there are many times you find out that there's extend keyword is there. Let me show you something. This is not a class is extended, but if you observe the scanner class, so you'll come to know that you know, is there anything? Let me check. No. Where we use a scanner class for taking inputs and all that things. For the student results, let's check it. See, if you go in a scanner class, basically it is a class. If you've seen that it is a class, okay, it is the implementing. In entire Java, there is only two things, either extends or implements. Okay, implement is a part of interface that we are going to see a later. Okay, it doesn't matter. Fine. But if you want to check it practically, let me show you something so we can understand. Assume that there is a class. Can you see this extend? So that means we are using some built-in functionality of other classes. So if you go here in the J frame, so it is also extending something. If you go in this thing, it is also extending something. So we can observe that internally how many extends are there. These are all of the built-in classes. So means they are also making a reuse of function and function. Otherwise, they need also needing to also write the same code again and again. So instead of that, they are keep on extending so that it will be become easy. So while extending only one class, all the built-in link functions are automatically accessed. We understood very simple example. You will get that what exactly the inheritance concept is. Let's take one small example. We start with some class and object, and then we'll implement with the help of inheritance concept. Just assume that in the main class, now whenever you're creating a package, use that package to create a class. Okay, right click on the package and then new class. Okay, so now assume that I have created some function. I'll name it as a parent, as a for it's a simple class. Right. So when you are doing some program, the package that package name is already automatically is there. Okay, so that is correct. Fine. So within that parent functions, let me add something functions codified. mm, Anything. So P as let's say P. So I'll write here. So system.out.println sys. So so let's write some simple logic. System.out.println. This is parent. Fine. The simple things. Now, one more example I want to take. Last name as a child. Okay, let's add a child. CHILD child. This is also simple class. Now, we will not create any function here, or you can create also not a problem. So void cc access sys. So this is child class functions. Fine. So now both are the simple class, so they don't execute individually. So for that, we need to create some main class as well. So let's me create some main class. As you can see that a family as a main class. FAME main class. If you want to execute a parent class function, for that you have to create the object of parent class. There's no doubt, as we know already, that whichever the class function you want to access, the same object we have to make. So let us make as a parent p is equal to new parent. This is a way. With the help of that class method, we can access PP. It's the only way we are having. Okay, let me make a method name as a double P because object name is also same. So it's better to have double. It is absolutely fine. It is simply class and object programs. So as usual, you can get this is parent. Okay. And with the help of parent object, can I call the child method? Is that possible? How is it possible? It's a parent class object, no? Parent class object only called a parent method, right? How is going to call the child method? Because child object is going to call the CC method. If you try to call with the help of parent method and child functions, so it will say the errors. The CC is not defined, right? Not in the parent class. There is only one method. You can call only one method. To access this child method, you have to create a child class here. See a child. C is equal to new child. This. And now we can call C dot CC. Is that fine? Because CC is present in the child class. If you run this program, so you see that it is working. Can I call with the help of child object parent method? Is that possible? See, still we are not used any inheritance concept. Okay. I'm asking without inheritance. Is that possible? We're just doing a simple class and object programs. Still, we are not focusing on inheritance. It is still not possible because with the help of child object, you can call only child method. Okay, with the help of parent, you can call only parent method. So, but we can access the parent class method into the child class. For that, you have to use the concept of inheritance. So how is that possible? Now you're seeing that program, it is an error because P is not accessible. It's saying create a method of PP in the type child class. But the inheritance concept say that if you extend some classes, so that automatically all the functionality of that particular class will be available into your class. So that means if I use extend keyword here, EXTENDS extends, what PARENT parent, the error is gone now. If you are extending some classes, so that means all the functionality of that particular class is now available in the child class. So extending. So with the help of child class object only, you can call the child class also as well as parent class. Now this is a concept of inheritance, right? You can create a many functions here. So all the functions will be now accessible to the child class also because it's extending a child class. Okay, getting simple concept of child and object. So we have one the parent class here, and we have one the child class here. So basically, if you want to access a parent class method, you have to create an object of parent class. If you want a child class, then the child class. Child cannot access the parent, and parent also cannot access the child. But if we extend this parent method into a child class, so now all the method of parent class is available to the child class. So with the help of child class object, we can access parent class method, right? So this is a concept of inheritance. Okay, so this is basically a single level inheritance. Single level because only parent, only child, only one extension, right? So let me clarify you again what exactly you are doing. Assume that you are creating one project related to the bank loan systems, right? So the loan system. Now the loan system means there are different kind of loans are there. Some loans are like personal loans, business loan, and a car loan. So let me check. It is a personal loan, right? Some loans are nothing but a car loan, and some are the home loans. Let's assume that there are three kind of loans: personal, car loan, and home loan. So if you want to create a software for these three loans, so you need to write a different classes and functionality. Assume that personal loan need a three classes, 30 classes to develop the program. Car loan also need a 30 classes to develop a program. And this also need a 30 classes. If you developing a project only with the help of class objects, you have to create a 90 different classes. Then the project will be complete, right? 90 functions or 90 class you need to create functionality, whatever. This is the only way with the help of class object. But inheritance says that it try to identify is there anything which is a commonly available in this class also, this class also, this class also. Take that common factor and put it into the some other classes. And while observing this thing, we are finding that there is a 20 class related to the calculation, which are the same in the personal class also, car class also, and even the home loan class also. So in that case, what we are doing, we are creating a one other class, separate class called as a calculation class, which hold this 20 different method. Okay. So now personal class, instead of writing this 30 class, different class, I will write only a 10 class. The remaining 20 I will be extended by what? This calculation class. In the car loan also we'll only write about 10 classes and remaining 20 he will be extended from calculation class. Getting so we are reusing these functions again and he is also is going to create only 10 class, but the common calculation part will be extended from the calculation part. He is also extended from the calculation. Okay. So that now I have to create how many classes? Total classes. How many total classes I need? Functions. 30 plus this 20, na? 50. Okay. Instead of 90, I have 40 class I have saved. Right? Now just imagine how many workload and how many cost effective program will be. So this is generally that is the reason why in industry OOPS concept is used. Otherwise, you can just keep on creating class objects. That is also the way, but it will take a lot of time. In the school, it is okay. At very beginner level, also it's okay. But when you're into a company or when you're into the professional coder, so this thing will be the considered. Okay. And the same thing we are doing. The concept we are understanding. That means we create one calculation class and we just extend with the help of extend keywords. Right? Got it this? Okay, fine. So now we'll see a second type of inheritance. So first is single level, and the second type of inheritance is known as multi-level inheritance. Okay? So multi-level means just level is get changed. Remaining will be as it is. This is single level. Now we go for the second type of inheritance, that is multi-level. Assume that we have one level one, then we have level two, then we have level three as well. Okay. You understood the concept of extend. If you are extending something, that means all the function of that particular class is now available to the home class. Okay. So now assume that. So this is known as a multi-level inheritance. How many levels? There are no limits. There may be such a limit, but we are taking at least three levels. Multi-level inheritance. So assume that. So we have one function known as a grandparent, and we have some function is a parents, and where is a one more class that is a child. In that case, what happen? What do you mean by multiple? If the parent class is extending a grandparents, that means all the functionality of a grandparent class is now available to what? This parent class, right? And after that is someone is extending this parent class. That means for the child is accessible child class function, parent function, and the parent is already extending a grandparent. So by default for the child, all the method of parent as well as child is accessible to the child class. This is known as a label. While extending some another classes, if he is already extending to the some another classes, that means by default, all the functionality which are the extending by the level by level is accessible to the last class also. This is concept of multi-levels, right? Fine. So let's it execute the practically. So what I can do, just assume that I will just create one simple class, one more class that is known as a grandparent, grandparents. So I will create one method here known as a void gg. So this is grandparent. No, right? Grandparents functions or class. Okay, now it is single individual classes so that if the child want to access that grandparent function, so it is not accessible, right? So for that, the child is need to extend to the grandparent, then only the possible, but the child extending the parent only, so it is not possible, right? But we have just seen the concept of multi-level. If parent is extend the grandparents, means the grandparent method is available to the parent. The parent is already extended by the child class, so that means directly, indirectly, this function will be available to the child class. Now we have to go with the parent class. And here we are extending extends what? grnd, whatever, prnd, grandparent, sorry, prnd, prnd, parents. See, now it is gone. So now means just by creating a child object, we can able to accessing a child, the parent. The parent is directly extending the grandparents, so that function is also directly indirectly available to the child class. So now if you run this file, so there is one method. See, got it? So this is a multi-level inheritance. Understood? Okay. We are seeing the concept of multi-level inheritance and the inheritance concept. Inheritance concept is basically the concept we can reuse some functionality of other classes into our classes. That is by achieved by the concept of inheritance. And for inheritance concept, we can use the keyword name is an extend. In the Java, you can find only two keywords at in any levels. Okay, either you can go with the Google, Microsoft, Apple, doesn't matter. There's only two keyword you can find either by extends or there is a implements. Okay. Apart from this first keyword we are seeing that is known as an extend. Whenever some class is extending some other classes, that means imagine it is means that whichever the class we are extending, all the function of that class is now available to the our class. Okay. So based on your need, you can just extend it. Okay, fine. So two types we have seen, single level inheritance and the multi-level inheritance. There are some more types are there. One is known as in hierarchical and third will nothing but hybrid. We are going to do that program tomorrow, but before that, I will explain the how many two types of pendings, and also I will give one task that is little bit challenging, but you can achieve that, not a problem. Okay. So this is single level. Second one is a multi levels, and the third that we are going to see that is nothing but hierarchical hierarchy. It's a hierarchy. So this means what? So there is a one parent, okay, and this parent having a two child. Okay, so assume that this is the parent, right? And it having a two childs, child one and child two. So you can see that. So assume that this is a parent and this parent having a two child. So child one and the child two. Now in that case, what happened? The child one also need to extend the parent class and the child 2 also need to extend to this parent class. Okay, this kind of concept is known as hierarchical, means a tree like a structure is basically nothing but hierarchical structure. And there is one more type, and that type is known as in hybrid. The hybrid means the combination of any two is known as a hybrid. It's mixing of something is called as a hybrid. So if you are try to mix with this hierarchical inheritance with some other multi-level inheritance also, means basically you can create one more something is there, grandchild is there, for example, assume that grandchild and all that things. Now if the grandchild is extending this, now this is a concept of multi-level also as well as hybrid also. When the combination of two comes together, known as hybrid inheritance. Okay? It's very rarely used. Okay. Most commonly used inheritance is nothing but your single level and the multi-level sets. Okay. So let me share you this screenshot so that you can have. Now, after that, I will assign you one task. So just try to understand what exactly the task is. Then based on this, you need to do. Okay. So basically, what the task would be, what we are going to do, we are going to create one functionality of multi-level inheritance. The concept is very simple. So as we know, our full name is come from the inheritance, right? So our surname is acquired by some, multiple levels, and our parent name is come from the parent names, and our name is come with obviously that is our own names. So what we are trying to do, I already sent you the screenshot. So your program is to be develop a multi-level program in a such way that it is a grandparent is the class. The grandparent class only hold a surname. For example, it's my surname. Okay. And one more function is there, which is a parent class is there. Parent class hold its a parent name. For example, Daulat is a parent. And as a child class, the child class hold its child name. For example, Suresh. Okay. So means directly when we are writing our full name, so we are having our own name, parent name as well as surname. So you have to develop such a program in that way so that the child I have one function and that function name just assume that a full name. If I called only one function, okay, after calling this full name function, I can able to get my complete name. Okay, the final output will be Suresh Daulat Son Kamre, right? And you know the concept of multi-level inheritance. In that case, what happened? The child is extending to the parent, and parent is extending to the grandparent. So this surname is now available to this parent, and this both the things will be now available to this child parents. But you need to just develop this. If can the one more thing also to explain this, if you can able to call some functions, that is also possible, or else you can also use the variable as well. It is not only related to function. For example, assume that there is a one name is there. So let's suppose G and M. I'm writing my my name, whatever it may be. Kuber is the name. Just assume that. So can I access this name into the child class? Is that possible? Of course, it is a possible with the help of it is already inheriting. So that means with the help of child class object, I can able to call that grand names. Now you have a hint how to complete this program, right? So I can get this name as well, grandparent names. Let me write this error. We are accessing grandparent name. Where even though just assume that okay, I have written here parent, it doesn't matter. I can create here also. Right. Okay. I need to write here, but that is a written name somewhere. So this is grandparent names, and just I need to write is a PNM. This is anything DAULAT. Right? So can I access also access this name also? I'm just giving a hint. You have to complete the entire program. So this is parent name also we're having, right? So run this. Okay. So I have given some hint. So now with the help of all this combination, we have to complete this task. So just remember, I will call only one function. After calling that function, I need to have my complete name. Okay. I'm not able to call it three different functions. So you have to develop a program in a such way that just calling by one function, we will get our complete name. Got it? Yeah. Right. Tomorrow I will check that programs and then we'll go for other type of inheritance. So that is nothing but which we have seen multi-level, sorry, hierarchical and then hybrid ones. Okay. Also, there is a one concept that Java does not support a multiple inheritance. So we'll check why it is not supporting a multiple inheritance. What exactly the problem will be happen if it is having a multiple inheritance. That also we are going to see. And what is an alternative in the further session that also we can discuss. Okay. Oh, one more thing. We forget that because I'm going some out of for the 2 day vacations. Maybe I not there tomorrow. But I will assign you some basic tasks. This is also one kind of task, and I will give some tasks. You have to complete it by tomorrow and show me it by Monday. Okay, you have 2 day holiday. I will give you some assignment list. You have to complete that. Okay, and I will available on phone and WhatsApp. You have any doubt during the while doing a program, you can share the screenshot and error message. I will revert you once. Okay, fine.